Thanks for the support as a channel member, DC Maximo. Well, folks, it is with a heavy heart I have to announce that this is going to be the final episode where I'm the manager of my beloved Peterborough United. Sometimes you just get a big opportunity that you have to take to go somewhere else and get in a relegation battle. Hello and welcome to Club 2, part 42 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we are just going to be saying goodbye to Peterborough United and, I guess, saying hello to our new club, Arsenal, who we applied for this job right at the end of the last episode. You'll remember yesterday's episode, we actually beat Arsenal. It's the most recent game that we played. We went there, we beat them 2-0. They were utterly toothless. They were useless. And we beat them, noticed just how low they were in the league. They're in 19th place, 3 points from the first 12 games. Not even a win yet this season. Already 8 points from safety with, a third of the season gone. And we noticed how pathetic they were and decided to apply for the job because I thought it would be an interesting challenge. This is an Arsenal team that are very much a mid-table side. Lots of 6th place finishes and 8th, a 7th, a 6th, a 6th. But they seem to have fallen on hard times. Thierry Henry was the manager that they had in place for the previous 4 years, but for whatever reason, it went wrong for them this season. They had a summer where they sold. I mean, it's not obvious a big player left. I guess this guy, Edson Alvarez, a 30-year-old right back. I don't think that leads to relegation, does it? I guess the signings they came in were a little bit uninspiring, maybe, and just general getting rubbish over a number of years and not signing very good players, presumably. We're going to have a job to do at Arsenal, but we'll get back to that in a minute because I think we owe Peterborough a goodbye because it has been quite the journey at Peterborough United. Did I make it onto the favoured personnel list? Yay, I did. I'd like to think I'd be an icon or a legend after what we've done here. I've been the manager here at Posh for nearly 5 years. 4 years, 293 days. During my time here, I've taken us from being a mid-table League One side up to promotion through the playoffs to the Championship, which spent a couple of years in the Championship. I got promoted then through to the Premier League. And of course, since being in the Premier League, we've had a 9th place finish and then the ridiculous 5th place finish last year where we were top of the league for some of the season. We qualified for the Europa League. We've got our first season in Europe at the moment where we've already won our group after 4 games. Everything is looking up. It's looking positive for this club. And there's a new ground being built. It's going to be 2 years though. And it just, I don't know, for the good of my career, it feels like hanging around out in Leicester for 2 years, waiting for I've just noticed the Leicester ground is owned by the council. What has gone on at Leicester? We've talked about the King Power and leaving it a number of times, but they've moved into a council-owned community stadium. What's going on in Leicester? I don't know. It just feels like we've got 2 years of kind of treading water, waiting to move back into our own ground. And then when we do, it's a smaller ground than the one we're playing in. And although we have been making consistent progress year on year here at Peterborough, I do feel this year that we are capping out as good as it's ever going to get. I don't see us being title challengers. We're 5 points off the top. I guess there's an outside chance if we stuck it out, we could. I think it's unlikely that we would. We saw last season, it was very difficult to maintain our form over the course of an entire season because the squad is quite thin. And I don't know, I would expect this season, if we stuck it out, to be another 5th, 6th place finish. We might get a Champions League spot, but then we're not going to win it. We're not going to win the league. We're not on our own ground. Yes, there's lots of positives. I wouldn't have been desperately looking for an opportunity to leave. I hadn't have noticed such a good opportunity come up. But the idea of going to a club the size of Arsenal, they've been rubbish for years. We know that. But they do have a 60,000 all-seater stadium. They're absolutely loaded. They obviously do have that enormous history and pedigree. They're able to offer far higher wages than we're able to offer at Peterborough. We can attract much better calibre of players. This is a club where if we have a good 2 or 3 years, we could win the Champions League or the Premier League with Arsenal. And even if we don't, it's the kind of club we can use as a stepping stone out to a real European powerhouse club. If we turn this Arsenal tide around and spend a year or two here taking a team that's looking likely it's going to be relegated, saving them will be a huge achievement, and then pushing on to Champions League again would be a huge achievement and could lead to something really cool. Of course, there's always the possibility that I do actually get relegated, but if I do, I don't even know that I'd be sacked, because looking at what they're offering me, looking at the end of season expectations, they have a 5-year plan, which is just make progress on and off the pitch. But they're offering me £41 million of transfer budget, £4 million wage budget, compared to the £1.5 million I've got at Peterborough. But most importantly, it's my favourite, fight bravely against relegation. Now, my interpretation of that is always try not to get relegated, but if you do, don't worry about it. So it's been ballsed up so massively here at Arsenal that I could get the job, get them relegated, and then get to bring them back up again and completely rebuild the club in my image, which I really like the sound of. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And adding on to all of that, they're offering me £63,000 a week to do it, which compared to my contract on £18,000 a week at the moment, that even in and of itself is an absolute no-brainer. So we're going to be going. We're going to be saying goodbye to our boys here at Peterborough. There's a few of these that I would definitely be looking in terms of bringing with me. I don't know that we're going to be able to afford them. Lewis Parsons, I think, would be a fantastic signing for a top-tier Premier League club now. We've got a lot of the other wonder kids that we've kind of accumulated over the last year or 18 months. Kirstic, Shortire, Miliaccio, Petrazilka, Novak, Lopez. There's loads of these young players we could look to go and take over there. And I think we will probably come back and raid Posh if we can, like I say, if we can convince them to step away from a Champions League push and get stuck into a relegation battle. But Parsons definitely is my number one target going into Arsenal, because it seems like everything went wrong when they sold a defender to Paris Saint-Germain. So let's start our negotiations. Let's see if we can squeeze a little bit more money out of them. See, they're offering me a 3-year deal, even though they're acknowledging they might get relegated this year. They're looking for something long-term, and I like it. Can I get 70 grand? Can I get 67 grand? Can I get 65 grand? What is the point of letting you negotiate this kind of stuff if negotiations don't work? There you go. We've taken the job. Let's wait for it to tick over. I am no longer the manager of Peterborough United, and apparently don't have the 3D kits for Arsenal either, which is interesting as they're not up there. In a move which is sure to spark plenty of heated debate, Kevin Chapman has left Peterborough to join divisional rivals Arsenal. Questions will be raised as to why Chapman made the decision. I mean, preview of the comments section. Questions will be raised as to why Chapman made the decision to take up a different job within the same division, but he'll face pressure to bring immediate success to Emirates Stadium, given his former employers and previous standing. Andre Doyen was considered to be the favourite for the job, but it's unclear whether the club favoured Chapman all along. Well, they gave me the job, so I'd assume they did. Peterborough will now be looking for a new manager and are being paid £4.5 million in compensation. Chapman, a Vanarama North winner with Kettering, brings a wealth of experience with him and boyish good looks. That doesn't say that for some reason. Chapman was the subject of considerable... What? Chapman was the subject of considerable criticism at Peterborough in 2026 following a humiliating Carabao Cup exit at the hands of Birmingham, and will now be hoping for a better experience when taking up a new position. Everything I achieved with Peterborough, and the notable thing, talk about negativity from the media. TalkSport, what are you doing? Everything I achieved at Peterborough, and the one thing you're including in the announcement is he was humiliated by Birmingham in the Carabao Cup. What a loser. Wow. Anti-Arsenal media much? Arsenal have now suffered 5 straight league defeats. Yep, that's partly my fault. And the relegation candidates find themselves in 19th place in the English Premier Division. Let's have a look to see what we've got. We're going to have a little look at the team now. Obviously, we'll do a proper part 1 with Arsenal tomorrow where we'll find a house, do all that kind of stuff, play our first couple of games. But for now, we're going to have a little look just to see what kind of mess I might have got myself into. So we already know all of this stuff. The media are predicting a 5th place finish for Arsenal this year. I don't know how it's gone quite as wrong as it has, but hopefully I can turn things around relatively quickly. I mean, there's some good players in this team. How has it gone as wrong as it has? I don't really... That is a beard. He has got a lovely beard. He's my new very good friend. Reece Nelson is the top earner at Arsenal. I mean, I'm starting to see where this might have gone wrong. But João Pedro's good. I've heard of him. 26 years old. He's the captain. Right, I need to get stuck into this properly. So, yeah, we've accepted all that already. Yeah, confirm. And let's have a look around the team. I mean, they've got the criticism thing again on here. I need to have a word with my publicist. This is ridiculous. Right, the squad. What have we got? Club info. Best player at the club is João Pedro, 26-year-old Brazilian, 4-star current ability, just proper, very good football player, has been scoring goals for fun. What's gone on here? What? I don't know. Is he injured? No. Wants to leave to play in the Champions League. Back down, Pedro. Goodness me. Key player, Niklas Sula. Why is he on the transfer list? Transfer listed in September after refusing to sign a new deal with only a short time left on his existing deal. But I mean, he's on 200 grand a week as well. Did he just lose? I think Thierry Henry just lost the dressing room and everyone got a grumpy on. Christopher Aja is here as well, having come in from Celtic years ago. Have a look around the team. Who are other good players? Saka, 26 years old now. Can obviously play either side. Your Arsenal youth prospect. He should be all right. What is it with the old men? I think this might be the problem. Old men and grumpy boys. There needs to be a complete overhaul. Why is Kovacic here? Why did they pay £28.5 million for a 33-year-old this summer just gone? This club is in a mess. Gabriel, 29 years old. Okay, that's good. We can keep him for a year or two. Karim Adeyemi came in from Salzburg. Another one who's been scoring lots of goals but hasn't really done it this year. It's pretty clear the dressing room was lost here. Goalkeeper we just looked at before. There's some decent players in this team though, but a lot of... Kieran Tierney's 30 now in this world. James Ward-Prowse, why is he here? Oh. Why is he here? What's gone on? Okay. We clearly need to freshen this up. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players in the first team squad older than 30, but more worryingly, if we sort them by ability, most of the best players Kovacic, I've just criticised, he's the 3rd best player at the club, despite being a 33-year-old Chelsea reject. We need a huge refresh, bringing in some young players in January. We've got £41 million in the bank. Luckily, the financial situation looks pretty solid. We need to go and scout my Peterborough team, because this is going to be a good spot to go and grab some young players from. So let's get this lot scouted. Parsons, like I say, is priority number 1, especially if Sula's leaving. So get scout report. When we talk to his agent... Flipping heck. What have I done here? Oh, God. He feels joining Arsenal would benefit his family financially. Wouldn't benefit Arsenal financially, would it? Okay. This is going to be an interesting challenge. How are they doing in the Europa League? Might qualify in the Europa League. Probably will get knocked out by Peterborough in one of the knockout rounds. Right, we need to find a way to win a game of league football. And first up is Chelsea, which will be in tomorrow's video. I hope this doesn't end up being a massive mistake. But that Premier League table, Well, who's taken over from me as manager? Good old Stephen. Didn't come with me then, Steve. No? Didn't walk out in a sign of solidarity. Fantastic. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.